Let's talk about a technology that's been around actually for some time, but Windows is getting better and better at it, as are other software vendors. It's called data execution prevention. Now, this is a feature that blocks memory that is designed to store data, blocks it from being able to execute programs in that data space. Let me go back to illustrate this. Let me go back to this diagram again, and I've added something here. Let's say that this is a web form or a form in an application somewhere, and it asks for your name. So you put your name in here, and it asks for your address. All right, and then it asks for your phone number. Okay, 360-123-4567. So you've got this information in here. Now, what many hackers try to do is to put a piece of code in here instead. So rather than the phone number, they might actually put a script in this spot. Now here's the script code that they have here. I'm just going to put some random characters in it, and so there's some a piece of script and then the end of the script. In fact, this could go on. This could be much longer than the actual size of the field is supposed to be able to hold. And in fact, all it needs is what, 10 characters for a phone number? But they've managed to put all this stuff in here. And if the computer doesn't know better, it looks at this and says, oh look, a script, I think I'll run that. And so it does, and it runs it, and they can hack into perhaps a database and get themselves some access to this database, even at an administrative level, get everybody's credit card numbers, addresses, and all of that information, and away they go. Well, here's what Windows is trying to do now instead of that. So here's the data. Let's say that all this data here is supposed to be here. Well, first of all, let's say this, that the designer of this form should have made some limitations. So for example, the phone number should have only allowed a certain set of characters like that. And if this format, if whatever's in here does not follow this format, this field should not allow that. And so this is the programmer's bad right here. They should have validated this field so that you couldn't put script in there to start with. But let's say that they did anyway. So having done that, let's say that this data piece right here is the data piece that they that came from these fields right here. Well, what Windows does here is it says, oh, wait a minute, this is data. I should not run any code that is in this particular space in memory. Now remember, this has been randomized because of ASLR, but even after it's randomized, the machine knows, well, the Windows knows, well, where are these pieces? And this piece should be data. And so Windows says, I'm not going to run data because it's data. All it is stuff that I'm supposed to be able to spit back out, but I'm not supposed to actually run any code in this block right here. And so that's what it does, and that is called data execution prevention. In other words, preventing any kind of execution in blocks of memory that are only supposed to hold data. And this is very common on websites as well as in operating systems such as Windows.